Karen destroys teen science fair project, says it's witchcraft. Before we get into the story, comment below where in the world you are watching from today, and if you like this story, don't forget to subscribe. The school gymnasium was alive with the energy and anticipation that only a science fair could generate, a place where curiosity and creativity blossomed in equal measure beneath the bright fluorescent lights that hummed softly overhead. Tables were lined up meticulously across the polished wooden floor, each adorned with colorful displays, intricate models, and carefully handwritten posters explaining concepts that ranged from basic physics to advanced chemistry experiments. Students, clad in their best school attire but buzzing with the nervous excitement of presenting months of hard work, stood proudly beside their projects, ready to engage judges, parents, and peers alike with demonstrations and explanations. The air was thick with a mixture of youthful enthusiasm, the smell of fresh poster board, and the quiet hum of conversations as visitors moved from one table to another, their faces lighting up with awe and curiosity as they discovered the wonders of science through the eyes of the next generation. Among the myriad of projects, one display in particular caught the attention of many. A teenage boy named Ethan stood confidently next to his creation, a solar-powered device designed to demonstrate the potential of renewable energy in a small-scale, accessible format. His project was a complex arrangement of miniature mirrors, solar panels, and small motors, all carefully calibrated to harness sunlight and convert it into mechanical energy. The mirrors, positioned at precise angles, reflected and focused beams of light onto the solar cells, causing the device to spring to life with a gentle hum and subtle movement that captivated onlookers. Parents and teachers gathered around, intrigued by the blend of science and innovation, eager to learn more about how this seemingly simple setup could inspire larger conversations about sustainability and technological advancement. Ethan's face glowed with pride as he patiently explained the principles behind his project, using clear and enthusiastic language to make the science accessible to everyone who stopped to listen. As the crowd grew, Ethan demonstrated how the mirrors captured sunlight and focused it with precision, explaining the importance of angles and reflection in maximizing energy efficiency. His knowledge was impressive for someone his age, and his passion was infectious, drawing in even those who might not have initially planned to stop. The project's neat presentation, combined with Ethan's articulate explanations, made it a highlight of the fair. Teachers nodded approvingly, recognizing the dedication and skill it took to design and build such a functional model. Parents marveled at the ingenuity of youth, feeling hopeful about the future as they watched Ethan field questions and share his vision for a world powered by clean energy. The atmosphere around his table was one of excitement and admiration, a testament to the spirit of discovery and learning that the science fair aimed to foster. However, this bright moment was about to be overshadowed by an unexpected and unwelcome visitor who entered the gymnasium with an air of judgment rather than curiosity. Karen, a woman known among some parents for her outspoken views and staunch beliefs, wandered into the crowd with an expression of skepticism etched deeply across her face. Her attire was conservative, her gaze sharp and calculating as she scanned the displays without much interest until she stopped abruptly in front of Ethan's project. Something about the gleaming mirrors and the way they manipulated light seemed to unsettle her. Perhaps it was a misunderstanding of the science, or maybe it was a deeply ingrained fear or superstition, but Karen's demeanor shifted noticeably as she stared at the arrangement with growing suspicion. Without warning, her voice rose sharply above the gentle buzz of conversations, cutting through the room with a harshness that immediately drew attention. "Young man," she shouted, her tone accusatory and alarmingly loud, "what exactly are you doing with those mirrors? Are you trying to summon demons or perform witchcraft with this contraption?" The sudden outburst silenced the crowd around Ethan's table, the warm atmosphere instantly replaced with confusion and discomfort. Ethan froze, momentarily stunned by the accusation, his cheeks flushing with a mix of embarrassment and shock. The parents nearby exchanged incredulous glances, unable to believe that such a baseless claim was being made in the middle of a school event designed to celebrate science and innovation. Teachers hurried forward, their faces a mix of concern and disbelief as they sought to understand the cause of the disruption. The murmurs that followed Karen's declaration rippled through the gym, turning curious observers into uneasy onlookers. Ethan quickly regained his composure and tried to explain calmly, his voice steady but carrying a hint of frustration as he elaborated on the scientific principles behind his project. "It's a solar-powered device," he said, gesturing to the mirrors and solar panels, designed to focus sunlight and convert it into usable energy. "It's all based on physics and renewable energy concepts, nothing to do with magic or superstition." But Karen was not interested in reason or explanation. Her eyes narrowed, and she dismissed his words with a wave of her hand, shouting back that the mirrors were dangerous and that such devices were gateways to evil forces. Her language grew more heated, filled with warnings about protecting children from harmful influences and standing up against what she called the occult presence disguised as science. The crowd, once engaged and supportive, now found itself divided between those who defended Ethan and his project and those who were uncertain or fearful, caught off guard by the intensity of Karen's accusations. As Karen's agitation escalated, she suddenly stepped forward and knocked over part of Ethan's display with a violent sweep of her arm. The delicate solar panels and mirrors crashed to the ground, shattering and sparking gasps of horror from those gathered. Ethan's face fell as he watched months of work and careful preparation crumble in an instant. "You're destroying my project," he exclaimed, a mix of shock and despair in his voice. Teachers and staff rushed to intervene, their expressions hardening as they attempted to shield Ethan and calm Karen down. "Please, calm down," one teacher urged gently but firmly. "This is a school event, and everyone deserves respect." Karen ignored the pleas, continuing to rant about demons, witchcraft, and the need to protect innocent children from evil. The situation spiraled quickly, the gymnasium filled with a cacophony of voices, some condemning Karen's actions, others trying to restore order, and a growing number of students whispering anxiously among themselves. The science fair, a space meant to inspire wonder and learning, had suddenly become the setting for a confrontation fueled by fear and misunderstanding. Ethan, though visibly shaken, took a deep breath and attempted to stand tall, his determination to defend his work undiminished despite the destruction. Supportive classmates rallied around him, expressing their outrage at Karen's behavior and offering encouragement. Teachers conferred quietly, deciding to involve school administrators and security to manage the escalating situation before it could further disrupt the event or cause harm. Parents exchanged worried glances, torn between disbelief at what they were witnessing and concern for their children's safety and the integrity of the school environment. As security personnel arrived to address the disturbance, Karen's protests grew louder and more erratic. She refused to apologize or leave peacefully, insisting that she was doing a service by exposing what she called a dangerous influence. Her accusations now included threats about warning other parents and taking her grievances to local authorities and media outlets. The tension in the gymnasium reached a fever pitch as staff worked carefully to escort Karen out, balancing firmness with the need to prevent further escalation. Ethan watched the scene unfold with a mixture of sadness and resolve, knowing that despite this setback, his passion for science and innovation would not be extinguished by fear and ignorance. The crowd slowly began to settle as the focus returned to the students and their projects, but the memory of the disruption lingered, a stark reminder of the challenges faced by those who dare to push boundaries and share knowledge in the face of misunderstanding. The day's events had taken an unexpected turn, but amidst the chaos, a deeper conversation had been ignited, one about education, respect, and the courage to stand for truth even when confronted by hostility. Ethan's solar-powered display, though damaged, had already sparked a dialogue far beyond the walls of the gymnasium, touching on the very heart of what science fairs represent, a commitment to discovery, learning, and the relentless pursuit of understanding the world around us. The chaotic scene inside the school gymnasium quickly escalated after Karen's unexpected and violent outburst, transforming what had been a joyful celebration of youthful innovation into a tense and bewildering confrontation that left everyone reeling. The once vibrant crowd, previously abuzz with excitement and curiosity, was now fractured into pockets of stunned silence and murmurs of disbelief as they witnessed the destruction of Ethan's carefully crafted project. Parents gasped and exchanged shocked looks while teachers hurriedly tried to regain control of the situation, their voices rising over the din to calm both Karen and the onlookers. The glittering shards of broken solar panels and shattered mirrors lay scattered across the table and floor, A physical testament to the abrupt and unwelcome intrusion of fear and ignorance into what should have been a safe space for learning and creativity. Ethan stood frozen for a moment, his expression a painful mix of disbelief, confusion, and heartbreak as he stared at the ruins of his hard work, the months of research, design, and sleepless nights suddenly reduced to debris. Despite the turmoil, Ethan's determination began to flicker back to life as he took a deep breath and attempted to reclaim his voice amid the growing unrest. His hands trembled slightly as he gestured toward the damaged project, trying to explain once again to the crowd the scientific principles behind the device. "This isn't witchcraft or demons," he said, his voice firm despite the emotional weight pressing down on him. "It's science, physics, optics, and renewable energy. The mirrors focus sunlight onto solar cells, which generate electricity to power the motor. It's meant to show how we can use clean energy to help the environment." His words, though spoken with clarity and passion, struggled to cut through the thick fog of fear and misunderstanding that Karen had stirred. Yet, the crowd's response was a mixture of renewed curiosity from some and lingering apprehension from others, many of whom had been visibly shaken by the outburst and the damage. Karen, meanwhile, had become increasingly agitated and defiant, her shouts growing louder and more frantic as she refused to back down or acknowledge the concerns and explanations offered by Ethan and the adults around her. She accused the school staff of being complicit in promoting evil, insisting that the device was a tool of the occult, designed to summon dark forces and corrupt innocent minds. Her words, laced with paranoia and moral fervor, resonated unsettlingly with a few onlookers, sparking whispered conversations filled with confusion and doubt. Some parents, uncertain and unsettled, questioned quietly among themselves whether the device was safe or appropriate, while others expressed outrage at Karen's disrespectful and destructive behavior. The atmosphere grew increasingly tense as the emotional stakes rose, and the need for decisive intervention became clear. Teachers and school administrators swiftly moved to manage the situation, their calm yet authoritative voices striving to restore order and reassure the worried crowd. The principal appeared on the scene, her face set with a determined professionalism that contrasted starkly with the chaos around her. She addressed Karen firmly, explaining that the school valued science education and the curiosity of its students and that disruptive and destructive behavior would not be tolerated. Despite these efforts, Karen's obstinance and loud protests made de-escalation a challenge. The principal called for security to step in and assist in safely removing Karen from the premises before the situation could spiral further out of control. Staff members moved to shield Ethan and his project from further harm, gently guiding concerned students and parents away from the immediate area to prevent panic and confusion. Security personnel arrived quickly, their presence signaling a serious escalation but also providing a much-needed sense of control. They approached Karen with calm but firm authority, reiterating that she was required to leave for the safety and well-being of all attendees. Karen resisted initially, her voice rising into a crescendo of accusations and threats as she insisted on her right to speak out and protect children from what she perceived as evil influences. Her refusal to comply prompted security to carefully escort her toward the gymnasium's exit, all while she continued shouting warnings and promising to rally other parents and community members against the school. The echoes of her protests filled the air as she was led away, a reminder of the deep fears and misunderstandings that can sometimes erupt unexpectedly in even the most unlikely settings. Throughout the ordeal, Ethan struggled to maintain his composure, his youthful resilience tested but not broken. His peers rallied around him, offering words of encouragement and support that bolstered his spirits despite the destruction of his project. Teachers praised his bravery and poise, recognizing that facing such an unfounded attack required a maturity beyond his years. The crowd, having witnessed both the disruption and the subsequent calm, began to settle into a quieter, more reflective mood. Many expressed outrage at the destruction and solidarity with Ethan's commitment to science, while others grappled with the unsettling reminder that misinformation and fear can have real and damaging consequences. The principal took this opportunity to remind everyone of the importance of critical thinking, respect for one another, and the value of education as a means of combating ignorance. In the aftermath of the incident, school staff quickly assessed the damage to Ethan's project, carefully gathering the broken pieces and determining what could be salvaged or repaired. The community came together in a spirit of support, with teachers organizing resources and fundraising efforts to help Ethan rebuild his display and continue his scientific pursuits. Students volunteered their time and skills to assist in repairs, transforming the destruction into an opportunity for collaboration and renewed enthusiasm. The incident became a catalyst for conversations not only within the school but also in the wider community about the need for science literacy and the dangers posed by fear-driven reactions and misinformation. Local media outlets covered the story with a focus on Ethan's courage and the school's commitment to fostering a safe, supportive learning environment. Despite the challenges and setbacks, Ethan's passion for science remained undeterred. He continued to pursue his studies with vigor, inspired by the support of his family, teachers, and peers. The experience, while painful, had taught him valuable lessons about resilience, the importance of standing up for truth, and the power of community. His story became emblematic of a broader struggle to promote understanding and education in the face of fear and prejudice. As the science fair moved forward, the school took steps to enhance security and provide additional support for students and their projects, ensuring that future events would be both celebratory and safe. In the quiet moments after the chaos had subsided, the gymnasium returned to its intended purpose, a place of discovery, learning, and inspiration. The shattered solar panels and broken mirrors served as a stark reminder of the fragility of progress when confronted with ignorance, but they also symbolized the potential for rebuilding and growth. Ethan's unwavering commitment to his work and the unwavering support of those around him ensured that the spirit of the science fair endured, a beacon of hope for the next generation of innovators ready to challenge boundaries and illuminate the world with knowledge. The intensity of the confrontation inside the gymnasium reached a fever pitch as security personnel firmly but respectfully moved to remove Karen from the premises, her voice growing shrill with anger and defiance as she refused to accept the authority that was attempting to quell the chaos she had unleashed. Despite the efforts of the teachers and administrators to maintain calm and restore order, Karen's vehement insistence that she was protecting children from what she claimed were demonic forces made it clear that simple appeals to reason would not sway her. Her accusations became louder and more exaggerated, painting the students' scientific project as a dangerous conduit for evil influences, a perspective that seemed rooted in fear and misunderstanding rather than fact. As security gently guided her toward the exit, Karen threatened to take her grievances to local media outlets, promising to expose what she called a culture of wickedness infiltrating the school. Her departure, though necessary, left a charged atmosphere behind, a mixture of relief, lingering tension, and unresolved questions. In the immediate aftermath, the focus shifted swiftly back to Ethan and his damaged project, which lay in disarray across the table and floor. The destruction was not merely physical but symbolic, representing a rupture in the safe space where curiosity and learning were meant to thrive. Ethan's expression was a complex tapestry of emotions, hurt from the loss of his work, frustration at the baseless accusations, but also a remarkable steadiness that spoke to his resilience. Teachers and classmates surrounded him, offering words of encouragement and practical support as they began to assess the extent of the damage and brainstorm ways to salvage and repair the device. The principal spoke directly to Ethan, expressing admiration for his composure and reaffirming the school's commitment to fostering an environment where science and education could flourish free from fear and intimidation. This moment of solidarity was vital, serving to rebuild not only the project but the confidence and enthusiasm of a young mind dedicated to discovery. As the school administrators convened to discuss the incident, their primary concern was ensuring that the event could continue with minimal disruption and that the safety and well-being of all students, staff, and attendees were upheld. They reviewed security protocols and coordinated with event staff to reinforce boundaries and prevent similar disruptions in the future. More importantly, they planned to address the broader implications of the incident, recognizing that the destruction of Ethan's project was symptomatic of a deeper issue, one that touched on misinformation, fear of the unknown, and the challenges of promoting scientific literacy in communities where superstition and skepticism can sometimes overshadow reason. A decision was made to hold a series of educational workshops and community discussions aimed at fostering understanding and critical thinking, turning the unfortunate event into an opportunity for growth and learning on a larger scale. Meanwhile, Ethan's peers rallied around him with remarkable dedication. Several students volunteered to assist in rebuilding the project, offering their technical skills and encouragement. Teachers provided additional resources, including access to laboratory equipment and materials needed to reconstruct the solar-powered device. The science department organized after-school sessions to support Ethan's efforts, transforming the setback into a collaborative project that inspired a renewed sense of community and purpose. This collective response not only helped to repair the physical damage, but also reinforced the values of perseverance and teamwork that are essential to scientific inquiry. The incident became a teaching moment for the entire school, illustrating both the vulnerabilities faced by young innovators and the strength that comes from standing united in support of knowledge and creativity. On a personal level, Ethan's experience was transformative. The emotional impact of having his work destroyed in such a public and dramatic manner could have been devastating, yet his ability to navigate the situation with courage and grace earned him admiration beyond the school walls. He became a symbol of resilience and dedication, inspiring other students to pursue their passions despite obstacles. His story was shared in local news outlets and educational forums, highlighting not only the challenges of confronting ignorance but also the power of education to overcome fear. Ethan's voice, clear and thoughtful, became part of a broader conversation about the importance of nurturing young scientists and fostering environments where inquiry is encouraged rather than feared. His journey underscored the idea that setbacks, no matter how painful, can be catalysts for growth and deeper understanding. The school community, too, reflected deeply on the incident's implications. Faculty and administrators engaged in thoughtful discussions about how to better support students and create spaces where innovation could flourish without fear of reprisal or misunderstanding. The need to address misconceptions about science, especially those fueled by misinformation and superstition, became a priority. Plans were made to incorporate more comprehensive science communication and outreach programs aimed at bridging the gap between scientific knowledge and public perception. These initiatives sought not only to educate students but also to involve parents and community members, fostering a culture of respect and curiosity that could help prevent future incidents of fear-driven disruption. The goal was to cultivate a shared commitment to learning and open-mindedness, recognizing that education is a communal responsibility. As the weeks passed, the Rebuild project stood as a testament to resilience and the power of collaboration. Ethan's dedication, combined with the support of his peers and teachers, brought the solar-powered device back to life, this time stronger and more refined. The experience had deepened his understanding of not only the technical aspects of his work but also the social dynamics surrounding science and education. Presenting the repaired project at subsequent events, Ethan spoke openly about the challenges he faced, using his story to inspire others to persevere in the face of adversity and to approach science with both passion and patience. His journey highlighted the importance of empathy and communication in bridging gaps of understanding, reminding audiences that fear often stems from ignorance and that education is the most powerful tool to dispel it. The legacy of the incident extended beyond the confines of the school gymnasium. Community leaders, educators, and parents engaged in ongoing dialogue about the role of science in society and the importance of fostering environments where questioning and discovery are celebrated rather than feared. Workshops and seminars were organized to address common misconceptions and to encourage critical thinking skills among all age groups. The story of Ethan's experience served as a powerful case study in the necessity of confronting fear with knowledge and building bridges of understanding across diverse perspectives. It became clear that the incident was not simply about a destroyed project but about a larger cultural moment, one that called for renewed commitment to education, respect, and open-mindedness. Through it all, Ethan remained at the heart of this transformative journey. His ability to face destruction and hostility with grace, his commitment to rebuilding and educating, and his unwavering passion for science made him a beacon of hope and resilience. The destruction of his project, while deeply painful, became a pivotal chapter in a story of growth and community. His voice echoed beyond the science fair, inspiring change and dialogue that reached far into the community and beyond. In the end, the incident underscored the enduring truth that knowledge, supported by empathy and resilience, has the power to overcome fear and illuminate the path toward a more informed and compassionate world. In the days following the upheaval at the science fair, a palpable shift began to take hold within the school community, a gradual but determined movement toward healing, reflection, and renewed commitment to the principles of education and respect that had been momentarily overshadowed by fear and misunderstanding. The incident involving Ethan's destroyed project had sparked conversations that extended well beyond the gymnasium walls, touching not only students and faculty but parents, local leaders, and members of the wider community who found themselves grappling with the complex dynamics at play. The school administration took proactive steps to address the situation with transparency and care, issuing a public statement that condemned the act of vandalism while affirming the institution's unwavering support for scientific inquiry and the intellectual growth of its students. This message was crafted with sensitivity and strength, aiming to reassure all stakeholders that the school was a safe and nurturing environment where curiosity and critical thinking were celebrated. Simultaneously, the administration organized a series of forums and workshops designed to bridge gaps in understanding and to equip students, parents, and educators alike with tools to navigate the challenging landscape of misinformation and fear. These sessions provided spaces for open dialogue, where concerns could be voiced and addressed with respect, and where the fundamentals of scientific reasoning could be explored in accessible and engaging ways. Experts from local universities and science organizations were invited to participate, sharing their knowledge and passion to inspire trust and enthusiasm for discovery. These initiatives, born from the adversity of the incident, blossomed into a beacon of community resilience and educational empowerment, embodying the belief that challenges, when met with empathy and collaboration, can become catalysts for meaningful growth. For Ethan, the path forward was both demanding and deeply rewarding. The support he received from teachers, classmates, and even strangers who had heard his story fortified his resolve to continue pursuing his passion for science with renewed vigor. The process of reconstructing his solar-powered device became a powerful metaphor for perseverance, as he meticulously rebuilt and refined the project, incorporating improvements and insights gained through reflection on the experience. The project, once fragile and vulnerable to destruction, now stood stronger, a symbol not only of technological innovation but also of the human spirit's capacity to overcome adversity. Presenting the repaired model at subsequent school events, Ethan shared his journey candidly, using his voice to inspire peers and to advocate for the importance of education grounded in curiosity and courage. His story resonated deeply with many, sparking a wave of admiration and support that transcended the immediate school community. Local media featured Ethan's journey, highlighting his resilience and the collective efforts that had helped him rebuild. Educational organizations and science advocacy groups reached out to collaborate with the school, offering resources and programs to further enrich the students' learning environment. The narrative that emerged was one of hope and empowerment, illustrating how even the most difficult moments could be transformed into opportunities to foster understanding and to celebrate the pursuit of knowledge. Ethan became a role model for young learners facing their own challenges, embodying the ideals of perseverance, integrity, and the transformative power of education. The broader community, too, began to embrace the lessons imparted by the incident. Discussions about science literacy, critical thinking, and the importance of empathy gained momentum in schools, libraries, and civic organizations. Parents engaged more actively in their children's education, seeking to better understand the scientific principles that underpin many aspects of modern life and to support their children's intellectual curiosity. Educators found renewed purpose in their roles as facilitators of learning and as guides through a complex and often confusing world. The collective recognition that education is a shared responsibility strengthened bonds among community members, fostering a culture where inquiry and open-mindedness were valued and where fear was met with compassion and knowledge. Reflecting on the journey, the school community recognized that the incident had illuminated not only vulnerabilities but also strengths. It had exposed the challenges posed by misinformation and the deeply rooted fears that can sometimes manifest as hostility, yet it had also showcased the power of solidarity, resilience, and proactive engagement. The experience became a cornerstone of the school's ongoing commitment to creating a safe, inclusive, and inspiring environment where every student's voice could be heard and where the pursuit of truth was embraced with enthusiasm and respect. The lessons learned guided future policies and practices, ensuring that the ideals of education remained steadfast even in the face of adversity. Ethan's personal growth was a testament to the transformative potential of facing challenges with courage and grace. His journey from a stunned and heartbroken student to a confident and inspiring young scientist illustrated the profound impact of support, understanding, and determination. His ability to articulate his experience and to advocate for the value of science and education made him a powerful ambassador for the principles that underpin a thriving academic community. His story continued to inspire others to embrace curiosity, to stand firm in the face of doubt, and to contribute positively to the world around them. In this way, the incident that had once threatened to diminish his dreams instead became a defining chapter in a narrative of hope and empowerment. As the school year progressed, the solar-powered project took on new meaning, becoming a symbol of renewal and the enduring quest for knowledge. Students across grade levels engaged with the concepts Ethan had explored, encouraged by the tangible example of perseverance and innovation his work represented. Science fairs and educational events incorporated lessons from the incident, emphasizing the importance of respect, critical thinking, and community support. The school's commitment to fostering a culture of inquiry and kindness became evident in the enthusiasm of its students and the pride of its faculty. The gymnasium, once the site of disruption, transformed back into a sanctuary of learning, where ideas flourished and young minds dared to dream. In the end, the story of Karen's destructive act and Ethan's courageous response served as a powerful reminder that knowledge and understanding are not merely academic pursuits but vital tools for building bridges between fear and enlightenment. It underscored the essential role of education in shaping a society where differences are met with empathy, where challenges are opportunities for growth, and where every individual is empowered to contribute meaningfully to the collective good. The journey, marked by conflict and resolution, loss and rebuilding, became a narrative of hope, one that would continue to inspire generations to come.